Okay, I want to welcome everyone. I just want to make sure that you know that the session will be recorded and posted to our Long Beach Center for Economic Inclusion website for future reference for all of you. Okay, so you're welcome to take notes, but you can also review it again on our website. Okay, let's get started. Today, we're going to go through foundations for growth for looking at your vision for your business, your mission, your values, and your marketing planning. And today, I, Vivian Shimoyama with Growth Small Business, will be presenting as well as Lissette Flores from Estrella PR and Marketing. Okay, so what will you be learning today? Um, Today, we're going to be in conversation with you about your vision for your company, your vision and your company's vision, also your mission statement, your values and your company's values, and your marketing plan. And these are all the foundation for the way you move forward, whether you look at branding, whether you look at customer value proposition. So many times when we look at our business, we have to refer back to our vision, our mission, and our values in our marketing planning. So this is the core of where you'll get that base, that foundation. If you'd like to ask questions during the web presentation, just click on the Q&A button above for the chat. We will go through questions at the very end of the program, and then you'll get an opportunity to also meet with one of us. Okay, so let's talk more about the vision and the vision statement in your business. So many times when I've worked with small business owners, they really want to know more about what's the difference between the vision and mission. But mostly what they want to do is really get centered on what that vision statement could look like. And the reason why it is so important and a core to the business foundation is because so much of the time as business owners, we're technical experts and we know how to make sure that we produce like the best bunt or muffin. We know really how to reach out to customers when it comes to being able to present our technology and our sales systems. But what we don't know is really the core of building that business. Not only from the time that it's the business owner, all the way to the time when you have many employees, and what some of those functions are that laid the foundation for that business growth. And what we start with all the time, and with many successful businesses start out with, is making sure that they have clarity in their vision statement. So that statement is more about why you're doing this. It starts with you looking at your current situation, looking at the future objectives of your company, really looking into the future. And most of the time, I'll tell you that the reason why you're looking into the future is because, you've always heard that statistic that, under 5 years in business, there are 50% of our businesses that go out of businesses. Well, what we want to do is make sure that we set the groundwork for you to stay in business, to grow your business. And part of that is building what I would call the infrastructure and the future thinking. Because when you look forward in your business, not only do you look forward to what the business will look like, how you provide services and products for your clients, but also what you're doing is you're thinking about the future. And that's what your vision statement does. It's kind of the roadmap for your business. It helps you to develop a living document of what you say you'd like to do in the long term. And most of all, it can help your employees look at a bigger picture. The bigger picture is really what's important, because you as the CEO and the leader of your company really need to know what that big picture is for not only yourself, but your employees. And how do all the actions that you take in growing your business really contribute to the results, the outcomes, the success, the quality of your products and services. Many employees like to go to companies that have a vision, because when they're in the interview process, they want to know, what would I be doing today in your business? But what is my future? And as many of us know, we're trying to build the best workforce for our business. And the best workforce starts with a leader that has a vision for their business, and they can draw others who are good, quality individuals to be able to implement and work with that vision. So by doing a vision statement, what you can do is differentiate your company from other companies. Mostly what your vision statement is going to do is it's going to get you focused on achieving many goals that happen in the future for your company. Okay, so many times, I've worked with thousands of business owners, and Lizette and I both know from our work with business owners is that, it does take getting a toolkit. The vision statement is one of the tools in your toolkit. And how do you form that vision statement? What you want to do is just make sure you're concise, it's easy to read, it's memorable, you're clear, and also it's future oriented. I think you've heard that a couple of times from me, is that the objective is future oriented, strategic, looking into the future for your company, for yourself, and for your employees, looking into the future for yourself and for the people who buy your products and services. And sometimes that can be challenging to do, because what we want to do is we want to tell people about the process of how we've developed our products and service. We want to tell them more about why they want to buy our products and services. But what they really get inspired by, people get inspired by, especially by companies, is, why did you start your business? Why this business? Why do you put your time into it? And so what it comes back to is, it comes back to a core of your vision, what you want to do for yourself, for other people. So if you can see, one of those examples is IKEA. They're not talking about their vision about creating the best furniture for people in their households. What they said is they want a vision that creates better everyday life for many people. Now, that's very general. It is all encompassing, but what you can see is it can engage your customers in the vision, not only that you have for your company, but also the vision that you have for others in the world. So it inspires. If I can leave anything with you, is when people hear you talk about the vision for your company and your vision statement, it inspires them to want to be with you, to buy your products and services, to be a part of your big picture. I think we all know that Nike, just by looking at that brand, that swoosh, that movement, is we see that if you had to tie it back to why do they run a certain commercial, or why do they have certain ads that they run, it brings it back to this vision statement. This vision statement is bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And then you can see how they put this this asterisk on athlete, and it says, if you have a body, you are an athlete. Well, now, isn't that inclusive? Because when we think about this, it's being, not only is it being inclusive, but there's a couple of words in here: inspiration and innovation to every body out there in the world. And so we see that in how it follows through in their advertising. We see that how it follows through in their production, in their product development. So this is why, sometimes business owners will say to me, I don't have time to be developing some of these things that large companies do. Well, the reason why these companies become large is because they evolve their vision statement over time. So I want to just impress upon you that, this is kind of the core, but this evolves over time. It doesn't stay the same. It's different as not only company grows, but it's different as the leadership and people give more input to that vision statement, because it's developed by a whole core team of people. It's not just about one individual. So I'll give you one more, and that's just build the best product. Build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. And that's the folks over at Patagonia. I think you've seen by many of the various ways that they work with community groups, where they look at sustainability, which is big, is that core vision of their company comes through in many of the ways that they work with the community. Okay. So I think the question to ask is, when you're developing your vision statement, is where do I want to be in the next 5 years? Sometimes I push my clients to think 10 years out, because the time goes by really fast. And I know you'll hear from many people, especially clients that have said 10 years out. It's because, 5 years, it's a long projection to think out, but 10 years really gives you the time to be thinking about what you want further out, for the why you're in business. And when you look at the future, is what you want to think about is what you want to become. What do you want your business to become? Because it isn't that everything is in place today, but when you can envision what you want it to become, what you're able to do is make some clear decisions and stepping stones to getting there. And once again, I want to use the word inspiring for you. Is your vision statement inspiring? So why does it need to be, or is it just a marketing and branding? And Lissette can share more with you about that. Is because, everything that we do today, think about the conditions in the world. Think about what's going on around us in the environment. What we want to do is we want to work to inspire people. We want to work to make sure that our vision statement not only shows what we can do, what we will do, what we currently do, but how do we inspire others to do some of the things, same things that we may want to do in the world. So a vision statement is inspiring, and it always answers the question, why? So if you look at a PepsiCo, be the global leader in convenient foods and beverages by winning with purpose. It isn't about convenient foods and beverages, although they've decided that they want to put that in their vision statement, but they want to be global leaders by winning with purpose. And so you see how that part of the vision statement is inspiring. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the mission statement. The mission statement is what your business does. Okay, it's action oriented. It's, once again, it's simple. It explains your company's purpose. This is what drives your team. So when your team members look at what is the mission of the company, they know what they do, what you do in your company. So it may be that your company produces metal parts for airplanes. You're in the aerospace industry, and you tell your team that, the mission of our company is to produce the best metal fabricated parts in the industry. It could be in Southern California. It could be, but what you can hear in that is it clearly says not only a part of the what you do, but it also gives your team the drive to know it's going to be the best. It's the highest quality. So the idea of it is that your team members, as well as that you've laid out what it is that you do, who your customer is, and your employees know that when they're all doing this and they're producing a quality product, is that they're communicating and they're also producing and completing their project according to the mission of the company. Many times, I have worked with many companies over the years. One of the programs I've worked with is the 10,000 Small Businesses program. And many times I would go through businesses, go to do site visits of businesses. And once we got through the mission statement, the vision statement, which was several iterations of people looking at those statements, being able to give the business owner feedback on the statement. And then what they did is they confirmed it for this point in time, because what I did share with you is that this is an iterative process. Is I would go in and see in the lobbies of these businesses that they had their vision and mission statements and their values up on the wall in their businesses, so their employees could see that, so that they could see that every day. So consider it a compass, a way to keep people moving forward, and a way to inspire. So when you look at what do, you get your employees, you get investors, you get your customers all engaged and understand what your organization does. That's what the mission statement does. Okay, so if you look at the mission statement for Southwest Airlines, it's a dedication to the highest quality of customer service, delivered with a sense of warmth, friendliness, individual pride, and company spirit. So I imagine this mission statement is really critical for the company now, because there's a lot of changes in our environment right now and in the way that people work. And so, this warmth, friendliness, individual pride, and company spirit galvanizes people, brings them together, shows them that this is the mission of our company. With Starbucks is as many times as they can evolve into adding more products. Their mission that they give to all their employees, all their what they call team members or owners in their companies, is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. I think many of you have seen them expand their products, but it's still the core of their products is that cup of coffee, is that cup of tea. And also they've done many things within the community to make sure that their Starbucks centers are somewhat community centers too, that they bring people together. And I've added this one on Walgreens because if you think of it this way, is that, there's a lot of ways that people can go into retail stores. Many of us have retail stores and look at it as a retail store or outlet for a product, so for products. But, think of it this way, especially if you're in the retail business, is why do people come into your store? Why is the experience so important to them? If your members on your team knew that your mission was to be America's most loved pharmacy-led health, well-being, and beauty retailer. So there are some specific things about what types of products. Its purpose is to champion everyone's right to be happy and healthy. Then they may be able to provide their customer service in a different way. So it isn't just about people coming into my retail store, purchasing a commodity, a product that's on the shelf. It's also about their well-being. It's about the products that we have for them to buy. It's about the experience that they would leave after and what the company wants for their life. So as you can see, it's a broader perspective for the team that you're building, for yourself to look at, why do you sell these products and services? Okay. So finally, the area that's a foundation for businesses is looking at your company's values, your identity. What is it about your company that not only you value, but things that you would stand by? What is it about your company that you want to build your team around? What is it about your values that you want to build your team around? How do you demonstrate those values in your leadership? And how do you create a culture in your company with those values? One of the things that I have talked with business owners over the many years, and I always make sure that they understand this, especially as they're hiring new employees, especially as they build their team, is your company's values not only align with your actions, but if you as the leader of the business owner, the CEO of the company, do not create the values in your company, do not create the culture in your company, your employees will do that. They will do it for you. And, when you hear that, especially as a business owner, you might think, well, no, I have control over that. No, if you're not communicating your values, if you're not engaging the employees in your values through your demonstrated leadership, through your actions that you take, what they will do is they will take their own values and incorporate it in your company culture. And this, for any business, there can be many pluses to it. There can also be many minuses to it because everyone is not moving in the same direction. So here are some of the things that you may want to consider as you look at the values in your company. Is, many times we look at the values and we think about things that, what do we as individual leaders, what do we as a CEO of the company value? Well, you might value innovation in your company. You might value integrity, quality, customer service, making a difference, sustainability, diversity, teamwork. These are all the kinds of things, when you think about it, some of the core values. Many companies value continuous improvement, continuous customer improvement. They like to make sure that people know that they're visionary, that they go above and beyond. So what you do is, when you're developing your value statements, is basically take a few words, take a select number of words. I like the number 5 typically, and I take 5 different words that I want to make sure the team knows, because I will tell you time and time again, when I've had a team and managed them, is when we're challenging situations, what you do is you bring your team back to the values. Are we practicing innovation? Bring people back to, is the quality of our work what we say it's going to be? And also, is that what we're delivering? Bring them back to when a critical situation comes up, is one of our core values was customer focused. Did we provide the best customer service? So there isn't a question about anything being personal. There isn't a question about it not being understood, because these are the kinds of things you can bring not only the team back to, but you can also build the foundation. You've heard this word from me a couple of times, the foundation for the growth of your company, because your values are so clear. I will share with you recently, I was working with a business owner, and we were looking at one of the platforms that they might want to be on to sell. And they were specifically looking at some of the kinds of ways that there may be data that is shared, just because they're working on this platform. And the business owner decided, no, my clients, my customers' data is very private. And so I want to make sure it stays private. So they decided not to go with that one platform. So these are the kinds of things that you have to consider. You have to consider, where are your values, and how does that relate to your operations? How does it relate to many of the decisions around which you're going to come in contact with as a business owner every day? And that's critical to not having you think back and forth about, should I or should not do this? But no, it's very clear. Privacy is very clear to me, and I value privacy for my customers. That platform won't work, but another platform may. Okay, so here's some things with Whole Foods. Is we sell the highest quality of natural and organic foods. So if you think about the people at Whole Foods, how that company has grown, that you can get a sense of their care about the community environment, their natural and organic foods. But these are some of their core values that they've always had, win-win partnerships with their suppliers. And so this helps to drive the decisions that they make in each step that they take. So, as we move on to looking at some of your PR, your marketing planning, I want you to consider the foundation of your business has to do with your vision statement, your mission statement, where your core values are, and how do you integrate that in to all the steps in growing your company. And one of those steps you're going to hear in a webinar series that we're going to be presenting throughout September is looking at marketing and sales. And so Lissette Flores, who is an expert in PR and marketing, is going to share with you more about not only her experiences with PR and marketing, but also ways that you can make sure that you put your marketing plan in place so that your business can grow and is always poised for growth, even during the challenging times. So Lissette, take it away from here.
Thank you, Vivian. My name is Lissette Flores, and I have been in marketing and public relations for more than 20 years in corporate PR and nonprofit PR and marketing. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for joining us today. So when we look at PR and marketing, this is the best way to reach our audience. So we want to look at what the profile of our audience is. And in many ways, we want to see what the age is, what their education, location. Location is really important. Is it a city or region, or is it a national product or service? Also, we want to look at religion, and you ask, why religion? Well, because, if there's an opportunity for us to reach audiences through churches and other religious organizations, and that's what we can do. I mean, we have to think of everything. Gender, ethnicity, you think ethnicity, why is this important? Because possibly we can communicate our messages in different languages according to the ethnic groups that we are targeting, income, etc. So a lot of times when we think about public relations, we think about press releases, we think about community involvement, we think about networking, partnerships, and social media platforms, but there's a lot more involved, and a lot of it has to do with content. So it is very important that we know who our target audience is. We encourage that you create a profile. Sometimes there's more than one target audience, more than one profile. So you take who that person is, and you find out what their browsing patterns are, and try to stay on top of engaging that target audience every step of the way, constantly and consistently, with great content. And part of doing that is important that you stay on top of the marketing trends and monitor them closely so that you can continue to engage and continue a dialogue with your key audiences.
So Liz, I'm going to move to the next slide, but just know there's a
Yes.
little bit of an echo in your voice. So I don't know
Okay.
if you can turn it down a little bit.
Okay, let me try to turn it down a little bit here. Is this better?
I think that's a little better. Yeah.
Okay, terrific.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. And so once you've identified who the target audience or audiences are, you want to let the world know that you are the expert. In a lot of ways, being the expert, creating the content or sharing content that's already available is important. It makes your audience know that you know the space, you know the market, and that you are the go-to person when you need more information about these resources or products or services. And you need to think like a publisher. You know, if you're creating content for your space, you know, what are the best tips? What is the best information that people are looking for right now? If you think about a car manufacturer, you want to know about the latest model, what makes it so special, why does it run faster, why is it more efficient, you know, why is the price point, you know, competitive with other makers of that caliber of automobile, et cetera. So it's important for you to be the expert, and that helps you become a brand leader as well. So I'll share more with you on that in the few slides that are coming up next. So we were talking about being an expert, creating content or sharing content that already exists, and also being able to deliver that information on the different platforms that you're using, whether it's a website, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whatever social media platform. So in order to create a successful PR and marketing campaign, you want to be able to always share news about your company or your products and services. Is there a new model? Is there a new service? Are there discounts? Is there someone at your company that is a new team member? Like for instance, today I noticed that one of the local publications communicated through a news release that there's a new sports writer. So anytime there's something new or exciting or innovative, you can report news press releases about what's going on for your company or for the industry. Also, use expert content about the industry on your website. As I mentioned, either you're developing the content or you can find content to share on your website. There are a lot of companies that you can work with that can write this content for you, can partner with you on this. So if you need resources, let us know. We can get you to the right content providers. Also, it's a great way to always stay engaged and connected to your consumer through newsletters and e-blasts. Those newsletters don't always have to have a proposition to sell a product or a service, but just keeping your audience informed and engaged is very important, so that when they're ready for your services and or your products, you're the first one on their list to go to, because they know that you're constantly in the know about what's happening. Also look at speaking opportunities. There's always a terrific opportunity to work with your local business associations to not only network in those spaces, but also learn about opportunities to speak, whether it's your local business association or whatever other opportunity you deem appropriate to share information about your company and your products and services. Also, it's so important, and I think Vivian touched on this, is to create community partnerships. Those go a long way. The more that people see that you're fully engaged in your community, that you are there to sell and serve as well, I think is very important for people to see and take note. And also those third-party partnerships and sponsorships are win-win opportunities. It's an opportunity for you to support an organization or a contingency of a group of people in need and be able to serve and also be present in your community. And then social media is something that you just want to make sure that you're constantly engaged in on a weekly basis. I know that can get overwhelming, but if you come up with some content that you can use on a weekly or monthly basis, it'll help you not make that an overwhelming situation. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the next few slides, but staying constant and staying in constant communication with content, again, that you have created or has been created for you or that you found is very important. So an example of how to do something like this, for example, if you are an insurance agency and your new desire, because like Vivian said, sometimes the visions change or the priorities change or new goals are set. So you decide that now you want to go after the teen driving market. Here are some things you may want to consider. Of course, create content to put on your website, write feature articles that talk about the best approaches to identifying and finding the best insurance for your team, some price comparisons, also possibly sponsoring sports events at the local schools. I've noticed a lot lately that a lot of local businesses will purchase these big banners that they put on the chain link fences at the different schools to promote their real estate services, their plumbing services, their printing services, whatever it is. That's another great way to promote yourself locally. Also donate merchandise items to local charities. There are plenty of charities that do fundraising events, and they're always in need of these kinds of donations. And it gets your name out there and gets your logo out there, and people can really see that you are engaged and supporting your community. Identify local teen organizations and churches that you can offer special discounts to and partner with those groups, such as the Boys and Girls Clubs, et cetera, the YMCAs, et cetera. I know that there's like I also want to share that also being a part of engaging in those partnerships is also an opportunity to serve on those boards. I know there's a local organization here in Long Beach called Operation Jumpstart, and it helps kids from 8th to 12th grade stay in school and helps them go to college by mentoring those kids in different ways, whether it's going to the theater or the beach or in a theme park and helping those kids aspire to attending college. So if you're in this space, that would be an organization, A, you would want to partner with, B, you might want to serve on their board or someone from your company serve on their board. So these are all the ties that you want to have, because also it allows you to be in that space and understand that space, right? And then last but not least, you always want to have a very good relationship with your city council representatives, because you want to always be there of service and support for them and to be in the know, right, about what's happening in your community, in your backyard. So I guess we can move on to the next slide. And I actually have another example. So what we're trying to say is create content that will bring people to your website. For instance, if you are a realtor, what kind of content do you think you might want to add to your website? You may want to add, we all know that buying or purchasing a home is best when your house looks turnkey, right? So maybe you start realizing that you want to put your house on the market. So you realize, I better find out more about, right? How to spruce up my landscaping, how to stage my home, how to maybe do some minor repairs like new countertops. So if I'm a realtor that has expert information on those topics and many more, I put that on my website. So when people are looking for that information, they find me as a realtor, and maybe I might be the person that they will hire because they see that I have not only know about all this information, but have given all the resources. And if someone is prepared and poised in that manner, they would probably be ready and prepared and poised to sell your home quickly and at the highest top dollar available. So that's kind of what we're we're getting at, look at all the different kind of content things that you can provide beyond saying, I am the best realtor in town. So now we're going to talk about content as branding. And that's why we're talking about all this content, is because when you develop thoughtful and well-researched content, then you become not only a resource, but an expert in that space. And you establish that. You establish being a leader in that industry. So the best you can do in continuing to constantly engage your target audience in many ways, in different ways, is important. So it's also very important to understand and know your target audience, so that you know how to possibly solve issues or concerns for them, what the best price points are, so they know that you're aware of other price points, other similar services, etc., and be better and innovative in that way. And I can't say enough about constant content. It's always good to prepare a lot of content ahead of time so it's not overwhelming. Think about all the different things you can share or talk about, and have you write it, or you go find the content, or you hire someone to write the content, but have it readily available so that you can send it out either weekly or every other week or monthly. Make certain that your website is creative, modern, up-to-date, user-friendly. You want to make sure that all the links there work, especially if someone's ready to make a purchase or learn more about different aspects of your products and services. Build an effective content strategy, and that kind of goes back to develop all the content and then figure out when you want to send it out. For instance, if there are discounts around I don't know, let's just say Grandparents' Day or Father's Day or Mother's Day, then, that will be happening in those different months. Provide tips. Every message doesn't need to be about your products or service or selling. A lot of the tips can be, or information that you share can be about just keeping people informed about who you are and what your services are and what your services are. Content really adds a lot of value, and it does lead to sales. So a lot of times you think about, I can't really say anything unless I have some fabulous news or there's something exciting happening. No, there's always an opportunity to find a way to share something about your industry or your products or services. So don't be afraid of that. Communicating through news releases, news blasts, speaking opportunities, partnerships, sponsorships, and using social media are all very important, and it's a constant thing you want to do. You want to stay weekly or monthly engaged with your audiences. So let's see, now we're going to talk about the overall communications and marketing strategy. So like we were saying, find reasons, right, to be able to put out a press release or do PR. Maybe it's just PR about your new partnership with a local nonprofit, like the Boys and Girls Club, and that you're offering a special promotion or discount to their members. Maybe it's you popping up a tent at a local church event to give more information about your products and services. So there are many opportunities, many ways to look at it. It's not always just a press release. Deliver press releases that appeal to your consumers. Write press releases that are replete with keywords that your consumers are using using and probably searching on the web. Include offers that compel consumers. Always tie it back possibly to some kind of holiday or a reason to think that, this is the perfect time or the perfect gift or the perfect opportunity to gift this service or product. Place links in your public relations materials and websites that go back to your website. So everything goes back to your website so people can learn more. Link related content on your site, such as posts and blogs and other things. Point people to your public relations news releases through all the different social media platforms you use. And I know we're saying social media a lot, and I know the next webinar will be on social media. So you will be learning a lot more about how to use social media successfully through Lori, an expert in social media. And drive people into your process by engaging them on your website with all the appropriate information and ready for them to click to purchase or support you in some way. And lastly, just to share this calendar, creating an editorial calendar is the best way to go, because then you know what messages you want to share at what times with what audiences. So in order for this not to be an overwhelming process, this is a key thing to think about. Think about all the messaging, think about the calendar year and how to best communicate that information. Sometimes there's content that is evergreen that can go any time of the year. So also, include that in your editorial calendar. But content is important, and being thoughtful about your process is important. What I like to say a lot of times is that this PR process is not a destination, it's a journey, right? Things are constantly changing. Topics, industries, services, everything is constantly changing. So make sure you're flexible and prepared to pivot every step of the way with your messaging and with your content and reaching your target audience and audiences. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to brainstorm with you or help you through your process. Vivian, you're on mute.
There we go. Okay. Thanks, Lissette. Really appreciate all of your expertise in marketing, planning, communications, and the work that you've done in public relations. So appreciate you sharing that with everyone. Okay, so if you have any additional questions, you can email us. Here our email address. Also, this will be posted on our website, so you can get a look at not only the video, but also the slides from the PowerPoint, and be able to contact us. This was a webinar series that is a part of four series. We start with the foundations of business growth, go through marketing planning, and then in the next session, you'll hear from Lori Anding, the next two sessions on social media marketing. And our last session, the fourth session, will be with Terrence Payne from TMM Enterprises, and he'll be talking about sales, and also not only sales, but ways that people have utilized various certifications in various ways as business owners to take their businesses to the next level. So thanks everyone for your time today. We'll look forward to seeing you on our next webinar, and please give us or email us if you have any additional questions that you would like to ask, and we can be of support to you in growing your business. Take care now and have a great day.